It is quite the moment, of course, for our country, marking the significant milestone, because it's one of the defining moments that served as an act of resistance and defiance to some of the apartheid constructs as well, and them just accepting that they were not going to stand with that status quo. So 70 years on, of course, we've been celebrating the baton that's also been handed over, looking at the strides that have been taken and some of the gaps that still exist, where we need to strengthen as well. So we're going to hand back to Griselda Lewis and Sophie Mokoena, who are standing by. Let me hand it over to them. Happy Women's Day. A very good morning. Let's hear how we're going to build up to the President addressing this commemoration today.
Well, a very good morning to you, live from the country's capital on this Women's Day from the Union Buildings in Tshwane. I'm Griselda Lewis. Happy Women's Day to all the women out there, and certainly today it's marking 70, in fact 2026 is marking the 70th anniversary of that historic moment back in 1956, where 20,000 women marched on the Union Buildings against the draconian pass laws of the apartheid government. So President Cyril Ramaphosa is expected to deliver the main address here at the Union Buildings this morning. And you'd remember, of course, women marching to the Union Buildings, the likes of your Lillian Ngoyi, Rahima Musa, as well as Mama Sophie de Bruyn. We're looking back to the sacrifices that those women made. How far have women come? That's certainly what we will be dissecting today. But I'm not alone. I'm with SABC News, a specialist correspondent, Sophie Mokoena. Sophie, a day of reflection, how far women have come against those historic structural struggles that women have faced.
Yes, indeed, the struggle of women in South Africa is well documented, but it didn't start in 1956.
Yeah.
In 1913, in Bloemfontein, in Senegal, in Wynberg, in Jackarsfontein, in the province called Orange Free State. At that time, women also converged there. That's where it all started, led by Bomme Charlotte Maxeke and Libomme Mamudisapudi. At that time, it was quite important for women to protest against the draconic laws of the apartheid regime. A year after the ANC was started as the African Native Congress, and at a time when the Land Act was introduced, and therefore women stood up. Therefore, 1956 was the second big march against the system that was oppressing, particularly the oppressed black Africans, Indians, and coloreds. And therefore, we know that women have played an important role. And in 1913, a similar protest in America, where women were fighting for a vote and handing a memorandum in Washington to the then president of the U.S., Woodrow Wilson. And therefore, the women's struggle in the world is well documented. In 1956, a big one, there were cameras to document and tell the history. That is why in most cases we talk about 1956. But I think our colleague, Nosipho, has compiled a compelling documentary about the struggle of the women, called When Women Rise. We'll give you a series of these documentaries until end of August, until end of Women's Month.